Well, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and a warm welcome to this week's Walking Wednesday. I have just been given a story that I could report on if I needed more material for this Walking Wednesday. And I was thinking to myself, okay, might as well use it. Then I remembered that so much has happened this week that it's not going to fit in. Oh well, it was still enjoyable to hear. Anyways, I should probably be reporting on the stuff people actually are interested in, like the Jacobs. You know, that happened this week. I was saying, I think it was the Christmas was last week. I wasn't have the space for anything. But yes, I know I might have vaguely hinted at that idea beforehand, but not really elaborated too much. And yeah, the reason I didn't do that was because... Oh, sorry, I'll step over a sign here. Wrong side of the road for sure. Not the car, me. Yeah, so I might have hinted at the idea, but I wasn't sure if it was actually going to even be carried out. So I just didn't say anything, which I definitely should have done, because people could have probably helped out, or I could have actually gotten some more nominations. Because what happened essentially was I had the plan to do an impromptu award show at the end of the year. Since about November time, I sort of had that idea. And yeah, the plan was just to go through, ask people different categories they'd want, and then pick from the past year of Gacha Review what I actually would be doing. And yeah, I encountered a few setbacks as far as actually sitting down and doing the show in the first place. I can't remember what they were now, but I know that I was delayed multiple times. But ultimately, it didn't matter, because the show, I got all the nominations that I needed in. Those were all decided by me, and except for the design ones, I left those to Emily. I would list off all the categories for you, but you have the live stream there, and I will probably be doing an edited edition sometime next week. I'll get back to why it's next week fairly soon. But yeah, for the time being, the main concern was that because I didn't have any visuals to put on. I watched the Oscars as reference, but only too little too late. So I just had to list off a bunch of stuff, especially the ones that happened back earlier in the year people didn't remember. So eventually, at some point, someone suggested that well, actually, I think they started just voting in general before I could really stop them, despite the fact that I already picked everything. So it wasn't exactly like I had intended it to be in the first place. So so they started voting for a bunch of stuff, and I was like, well, should I just open it up to you lot? Problem was, just before that stream happened, I was in a different stream that was being done by Prism of Voices, which was just a reflection of last year, a Q&A for the Guardians series, which meant that a lot of the cast and crew were there for the Guardians. And because of the timing that they finished at, they then went straight over to my stream, and because the Guardians had received several nominations, it ended up winning a lot of them. Not that it wasn't going to anyway. I did obviously have winners in mind. I picked out winners in my head for some stuff. It just, a lot of it didn't coincide. That was the only thing. But well, so the Guardians and also people were a lot. The cast and crew of Secrets of the Plex were there, and also fans of Secrets of the Plex. So yeah, they all chipped in, and so between Bon and Prism, a lot of the awards were snatched up. Which, hey, I mean, whether it was my will or not, they still beat some of the big names in Gacha. I had Not Zoe, Gacha Emika, and Rosie Closey listed several times. Not necessarily winning positions, but still nominations nonetheless. My goodness, was that interesting. But yeah, so next time I'll definitely bring in votes beforehand so people can actually link to the video so they can see what I am referring to, rather than just have to base it on whatever they've remembered, which is a fairly recent time. Yeah, I don't know. Hashtag Jacob's too recent. I don't know. Not really sure. Okay, turning this way leads to an uphill, so I'm going to go back here. I've already got an uphill that I need to go back from before. Not good walking Wednesdays. Oh well. There's more to something than a cup of tea. What does that say on the bus there? There's more to... Oh Lord. Oh no. That's gonna go in weird advertising. I mean, look at that. It says there, changing perceptions. But yeah, that acronym is a little bit unfortunate. Anywho, I'm not going to say what that is because I will get demonetized. Anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, so the Jacobs. Yeah, that was, but because of the Guardians stream beforehand, I also got like a bunch of new viewers as well. And on top of that, when I say new viewers, I'm sure they've watched the reviews. I have new people to the stream, and they and like that actually ended up being my most concurrently viewed stream of all time. I think we have managed to. I think we reached like 14 or 15 people. Yeah, and my analyst said 15 people maximum at one point, an average of 10, which is unheard of for streams. Normally, most of the views that I get from them are people coming in later, watching the archives. That's when like it bumps up. Like in the moment, there's not usually that many people, but yeah, this time there were. So thank you all for actually joining that, and I'm glad that you actually enjoyed the Jacobs, despite how rudimentary and rugged it was. So yeah, and yeah, needless to say, they all seemed to really like the idea, which was the whole point of doing an award show. Was to try and like bring that. Most of what I do is actually try and bring like more respect to the medium of gacha in the first place. But yeah, that especially, like having an award that is directly mimicking the style of the what the Academy does for the entire genre of cinema, and also other stuff for, like, you know, other awards like for music and etc. etc. So yeah, basically that. Hold on. There we go. Okay. I'm definitely not going down this path again because it's too narrow and there's too many uphills, but it was an interesting experiment nonetheless. Much like the Jacobs was. So that happened this week. And yeah, then you might think, oh, well, after that time, I just, you know, crashed or something like that. And I did for a brief while after the Christmas special and the Jacobs being prepared, but yeah, I'm not out of the woodworks just yet, because as it turns out, we're going to have a guest around who's going through, I'm just going to say, like, a medical procedure and needs to rest in a place that can, like, have access to stuff that doesn't involve stairs. That's all I'll say about that. But the reason I bring that up is because it means that from the 9th onwards, for not really sure how long, that room that I use for streams is going to be used, which means that I probably will not have that many streams. I'll most likely pre-record some videos, maybe do a bit more editing, but as far as actually making things live, it will have to it will have to wait until further down the line. So yeah, that's so basically any streams I want to do, I've got to do within the next week or so. So most likely every day until then I'll be doing something. Because I got that news on Christmas, I think. But yeah. People are asking like for a Razzies version of the show, which I might be able to do. It depends. I'll probably be able to prepare it, but also it's January, so we are preparing for what we do every January up until mid-March, which is making the next remake of The Mutant Girl, our anniversary special. And this year it's going to be 5, so yeah, good old 5 years later. But yeah, if you're doing the calculations, this year it's going to be episode 6. It's not going to be episodes 6 and 7 because those episodes, well, first of all, I don't like doing 2 in a row anyway. That's always caused me a lot of stress in the past. But also because episode 6 is very standalone, and therefore will probably not it would not benefit from the cliffhanger ending just being patched up and going straight to the next one, the birthday party. Honestly, last year, I think I might have said this, but last year might have been the last time that a combined episode ends up coming out for a remake. And the reason being that episode 7 could be combined, but it's also one of the longer, more complex ones. On top of also episode 8 has 2 parts to it, so I mean maybe episode 7 and 8 if I'm feeling really, really stupid next year. But that's probably it, because then we have episodes 10 part 1 and 2 that need to be combined together, and that will be a full-length episode on its own, which means episode 9 would be left isolated. So I don't think there are any more combinations that would be served at this point. And I guess that sort of coincides with my my methodology with writing Mutant Girl, because I've said it before, but episodes 1 through 3 all take place on the same day. And I think I wasn't necessarily trying to emulate the Taming the Bad Boy thing of starting the next episode exactly where the last one left off, because I hadn't watched Taming the Bad Boy yet, because the reason I met Shorty in the first place was because I needed a replacement for Maya, who left after episode 4 came out, so I didn't know about Shorty until that point. Yeah. Sorry, this path is full of water. I'm going to have to go around. I'm banned from jumping over long distances now. We can't go over it, we can't go under it. Oh, golly gee, we gotta go through it. Except not. Anyway. This one we can go over though. That one is fine. I might just film the back of my head, I'm not really sure. And there we go. Oh, and there's another one immediately. Great. That one I'm not sure if I can clear. I'm not channeling my my inner Peppa Pig today. Gonna go round the muddy puddles. I hate muddy puddles. Jacob despises muddy puddles. Okay. That's the front of my shoes ruined, at least. Let me just see if I can like clear off the worst. No, that's not going to work either. Okay, I'll find something to brush up against, you know, in a moment's time. Anyway, back to the video, because again, there's a lot to do, and I've just realized just how high up every single river/canal is. Oh dear. Okay. Okay, what happened after the Jacobs? Yeah, the next day, yeah, something terrible happened again. If you remember my video, something terrible happened from a while ago. So remember how I mentioned that Johnny's channel, the original one, Wipeout Arena Fan 14, got deleted, got terminated. Well, sorry, I was cleaning off the shoes. Well, once, wait, that doesn't soaked in yet. Yeah, so once that happened, he made a new channel, obviously, and that's where the Disco Pops Revival series got started. In fact, it was the reason for its existence in the first place, as you can imagine. So, but yeah, but the issue with that, of course, that, well, I guess there wasn't an issue in theory, but in practice, we ended up having that episode, let's just say. But yeah, beyond that, like, there were still plans to continue the series going forward, and then Johnny found a bunch of old videos with the old files from Disco Pop's past, and was able to re-upload them, which, by the way, was exactly my point when I said that I was going to send a Google Drive folder with all of the reviews and raw video files that I still had access to. I mean, I would be a terrible archivist if I hadn't been able to offer something at that point. Absolutely. But yeah, yeah, he declined that at the time, but then realized, like, oh, I've got these now. Maybe he just didn't get what the idea was, I'm not really sure. And also the fact that some of those videos were part of reviews rather than fully reconstructed. That being said, I could fully reconstruct them, considering what happened to him this week, the day after, well, I say not the day after, 2 days after the Jacobs happened, January 1st, in fact. What a great New Year's present this was. The Wipeout Fan 18 channel was terminated for the spam and deceptive practices, or that policy that I can remember the exact name of. Which, yeah, I looked into, because he came to me directly about this, probably remembering that I'd had issues with being demonetized a few months back, and how much I had to dig deep and find out about that. But yeah, sorry. There you go. Just, there's a lot of people out today. Right. So, yeah, I've forgotten again. Yeah, so I of course was appalled by this, because I think I actually had a video way back in the day flagged under scam deceptive practices, and that video was the first Dragon Ball R&R review/reaction that I did back in 2018. The reason that one was flagged was because I had very willy-nilly just copy and pasted the tags from the description, and it came under misleading metadata, so essentially tricking people to thinking the video was something it wasn't, which I've been very careful about in recent years, especially after that incident, because when 5 years later started, obviously my method was to use the original thumbnail as a basis, as a template for the following thumbnails. I just cleaned these shoes and now they're dirty again. yeah, so basis for those thumbnails, and I just add like the branding of 5 days on top of it. Similarly to how YouTubers will put like their own face if they're doing reactions on. I just didn't know how to do that at the time. So once I had like a formula for it, I just didn't stop said formula at any point. But yeah, but yeah, my point is that you can still tell I've still got like my branding somewhere on there, and therefore you can tell. Same thing with Gacha Review. I put my own character on the thumbnail, not only because I want it I want to be funny, but also because like the border, the logo, you can tell right away that this is the review from the channel of Jacob Butter from those videos. And it was that metadata thing that made me realize that I should do that in the first place. Because I think the original thumbnail was just like a screen grab, because I hadn't started doing thumbnails until 2 years after that, custom thumbnails anyway. So it was just a screen grab from the actual episode. So yeah, it made me think about that, and I actually reflected and improved as a YouTuber. As soon as I started doing like the borders and custom thumbnails and stuff, that was around the same time that, granted, my voice acting auditions were being published, and voice acting was increasing in Gacha, but those two things combined, I think, made me gain like 200 subs in a month or something like that, which back at that point was like nearly half of what I actually encompassed in the first place. So yeah, that was the time. Yeah, there's lots of people. Someone's still going around. I'm just dodging everyone. But yeah, my point is that the video was the only thing that got flagged, and I don't think like if a channel got terminated like directly from that, and it was like that was all they said was that a channel being directly terminated, especially like under the community guidelines policies, would have been in a case of a severe violation. Which, what? I mean, apparently, yeah, because it was apparently that maybe it could have been like spam or something, which also comes under that. But all that Johnny was doing was promoting stuff on his own community tab. I don't think he even promoted things on like other people's channels, which is a violation. That much I looked into. I don't think he was doing that. Not that I can recall, but he didn't mention when I asked him about it, because I was trying to get to the bottom of this, because that happening to you once is harrowing. If I had my channel, which I've been using now, like again for like over 10 years, if that suddenly vanished out of nowhere with 24 hours to even like send in an appeal, which is what they gave him, I would be destroyed. I know what I would do. I would double down, and then I would bounce back on something else like the Butter Bunch or another channel or whatever. But still, all that content gone, because I've documented like my own like development, not as an artist but as a human being. I've said it before, I've grown up on YouTube, quite literally. So yeah, that would be. I don't know how I would have dealt with that, and to have that happen to you twice, I would not wish that on anyone. So yeah, I immediately, again, going through those bits, like a severe violation, really? They didn't list like anything to do with like their emails. I didn't get sent an email from him or anything. But yeah, like, frustrating. So yeah, I didn't send me like the email confirmation or anything, but he did make. But yeah, like I found everything else that I was looking for on the actual YouTube page about it. yeah. Just I don't know what to say really. Yeah, so that's still gone. I gave him some advice on how to proceed, which I tempted to talk about here, but I specifically told him not to tell anyone what I suggested that he do, because of reasons that I was yet to explain to him. I should probably DM him about that. But needless to say, I do have a plan, and I do intend to try my best to help in this situation. Because I would hate for Johnny to feel like, you know, his attempts to connect with his community and get people to engage way more than the average person does is what ultimately sealed his fate. Because that's what YouTube does. It lets you connect with a community. So yeah, I mean, the other option, of course, is the fact that I just thought this now, maybe re-uploading those old videos, since it was detected from a channel that was previously deleted. Maybe that's why. Maybe you're not supposed to do that, and they should have been edited in some sort of way. Maybe I'll do that at some point. Maybe I'll create a burner channel in the style of Wipeout Fan 14, or I don't know, call it something like, yeah, Wipeout Arena Fan 17 or something like that. I don't know. And I'll just like, I'll see what happens. Because yeah, that's something else I'm thinking about. Maybe that was why, but also like see if like the edited videos are the ones that end up being flagged. I'm not sure. It would also help with my other suspicion, but again, I can't say what that is, because otherwise it might end up coming to pass again. I know that's very ominous, but still, I'm going to do my best this time and see what it is that I can do to help. Because yeah, like, I don't kid around with this stuff, because like that's like a person's passion. I think that's, but I'm guessing it was one of his greatest passions. I mean, I don't want to speak for the guy, but he seems to put a lot of his time and energy when he's not working into that. So I would think so. Yeah, let's end something on a happy note. So yesterday, we went to a pub quiz. I know I said before that I was doing all the streams that I could. We went to a pub quiz, and that was already scheduled beforehand. I won't say where it is or how regularly it happens, because then you'll figure it out. But it came as a result of, what was I going to say? But yeah, it was my parents and my aunt, and we were going to try and get that friend I mentioned earlier to come with us, but he didn't respond, and so we were just a team of 4. But for a team of 4, we did remarkably well, I think. The team that came first was a team of 6, and they won by a landslide, but that's neither here nor there. That's beside the point. So, I don't know. And that was an interesting night, because what happened immediately when we arrived was that we were directed to our table, because you had to buy tickets for this place. So we said what our reservation was. We went to our table, and then after that, there was apparently meant to be a team that was supposed to be next to us, and that team hadn't shown up yet. So the the organizer was there waiting for, well, one of the organizers was there waiting for the team, not the same person showing us to our tables, importantly. And then we said, okay, let's give them like a few more minutes. So yeah, that's fine. We'll give them that. We can wait. I'm thinking I just ate the stream by an hour, so I better you know, it's better not be too long, because we said we're going to go back at like 10:30. And then the same thing happened again. It's like, well, you know, it's fine. We'll give them another 5 minutes, and then just like that repeatedly. We're like, yeah, okay. Meanwhile, I hadn't like brought a book or anything, so I was just there being like, oh my goodness. Que empiece ya, el público se va. If anyone knows that phrase. Just a thing that children chant in theatres when they're waiting for the house to open. But so afterwards we said, like, the organizer said, okay, I'm going to step out and I'm going to call them. I'm going to call them and see what on earth is going on, because, and I guess again, you don't want to give everyone a fair chance. So if someone's like been delayed for really justifiable reasons, or they've gotten lost or whatever, you never know. Something might have happened. Turns out, as soon as she steps out, my mum's phone rings, and the ambient noise from the background indicates that it is the same location. Essentially, the call is coming from inside the house, but on a larger scale, because we were in a public venue. And so I'm peering outside, because my mum's saying like, wait, is this you? And I was like, I'm peering out being like, well, hold on a second, the organizer is on the phone, I was on the phone now. And then eventually they realized that the team they were waiting for was us. We were seated at the wrong table. So yeah, since we were the team that everyone was waiting for, even though we were already there, we started the quiz, and everything else seemed to go as per normal. But there you are. There's a nice wholesome story to wrap things up with. If I go right back and dig straight into the serious stuff again. But yeah, that was. We told the person. Well, my mum told the person who actually suggested the quiz in the first place, who wasn't there, and she was howling. So there you are. That was our nice day out, and we arrived back 9 minutes before stream started. And that's when I realised that my aunt would be staying the night, meaning that the guest room will be occupied, meaning that I won't be able to stream. But then she said, because she doesn't know about Gacha Review really, because most of my family watch like periodic uploads of Walking Wednesday, especially if they have a topic in mind that they might be interested in or whatever. So yeah, she's one of those. Which, by the way, hello. But yeah, so she didn't know about that. So I explained briefly what it was about, and then she said, "Oh, well, you can go ahead and do that for an hour." I was like, "For an hour?" So I didn't explain that the streams tend to overrun, because then that would be like another whole idea about like why they overrun and what they involve and the variables of the guests and such. So I just basically said like, okay, I will get this done in an hour. So an hour and a minute after the stream started, we finished. So I was close. And like shut down to become this, like, you know, take all of my things away, because I bring the equipment down to my room every time I do this. But yeah, that was. I thought it was interesting, because like being on a time crunch wasn't actually that bad in the first place. I do try nowadays to not make the streams too long. Like an hour, honestly, or 2 hours is the sweet spot for me, because back when I was maybe like an hour and a half, honestly. Because the reason that the streams used to be so long was because I was farming for watch hours. But because of that, because the watch hours being dependent on like the streams and like how many viewers were able to tune in, the longer they were on for, the better. But now that I'm going by actually the monetization rules and thinking about viewer retention, and the videos performing better because of the percentage of people watching the videos and watching another one, then they need to be shorter. So that's why I've switched, and some people still haven't like clocked on to why that is. And on top of that, it's still a stream, so I give them what they still expect to see. So yeah, that's why they're sort of like in a limbo state right now, so to speak. But yeah, so actually, hour-long stream, not bad. In fact, it might be even less than that once I actually take away the time frame, the opening card, because I can be a couple minutes beforehand. So yeah, there you go. Less than an hour stream. Turned out to not be that bad, even with background noise of Transformers coming in. So yeah, pretty intense week. I didn't even cover that story that I was told just now before starting. So there you are. Final announcements, I guess. We're going to do another audition for People Above character fairly soon. One of the mains, actually. So yeah, you'll be around for a long time if you decide to go with that one. I think Aiden may be recording the audio for that one, but I'll post it on this channel so people can see it. So yeah, other than that, I think that's everything to cover. I've ordered a new computer battery cable because the one that I have currently has stopped working. So depending on whether I'm around or not, I might just like have my entire battery been drained. Depends on how much I use the computer and how much battery save I can do and how much storage I can free up. Okay, now that's everything. So there we go. I'm gonna have to use a lot of processing speed to upload this video, which is gonna be fun because Vegas drains the battery a lot. Oh well, we'll see how that goes. C'est la vie. So please leave a like or dislike because your opinion matters. Subscribe already, and also comment #JusticeForJohnny if you watch the entire video. And on that note, until next time, farewell. Also, any advice you want to do about that, then please let me know too. Okay, farewell.